Everybody. I was trying to keep the sun out of my face, but I'm not. Oops, move back a bit. I'm not sure I can do that. I was trying to get this recorded before the sun came in. So this is actually a recording for the Guardians at the Gate, but I also wanted to make it public because, I don't have time to teach people what is happening in the greater realms of creation that are nonlinear and quantum and definitely influencing our existence now. So I'm going to record this for the Guardians, and then I'm going to post it on Sacred Space for Rest and Courage. And because I must keep contributing to all of you who are awakening into a new now and a new here. So recently, one of the requirements of being a guardian at the gates is that they either communicate or they make the calls. Never, hardly ever, even a glitch in that. But this past Sunday, two guardians that never miss a call, it simply wasn't available to their thinking. They just didn't remember it all. And then one new guardian didn't remember it all, and others communicated. But these aren't people that blow off things or make other things more important when they're not. But then I also had something happen right before a transmission I was doing in Field Beings Being a Field, where I completely, the 20 minutes before the call, I remembered the call. Something happened. I never remembered the call again until the next morning. So here's the three things I want you to know. Time is made up by human beings. Linear time is made up by human beings. And right now, as I was sharing with the person who all of a sudden I didn't remember the call, I was sharing with her that I feel like the gravity of linear time is weakening. So this linear calendar that has kept certain things in place, certain survival needs, doing needs, this thing that our calendar has locked us into the reality that we've been a part of. But now people are having a lot of trouble with time, linear time. They're not having trouble with being time because you don't have to have a calendar to be. So it's a very amazing moment in time. However, in this particular person who 20 minutes before and completely forgot about for almost 12 hours, I was explaining it to her because she moves with nonlinear time. And I was saying the feeling I have is that the gravity of linear time is losing its grip. And they were like all of us Mary Poppins with umbrellas. We open our umbrellas and the wind takes us wherever it's going. So you could say the current of timeless time takes us wherever it is going. And to get back to each other, we have to learn how to navigate the currents. So the power is in the capacity for human beings to relate to one another, want to be with one another, and want to create with one another. So that's the phenomenon that is going on. But the other phenomenon is that I did a course called Timeless Time, which now I think I'm going to try to unpack and get into. I'm doing chapters as fast as I can because this is the time where new thinking and our ability to track our own emergence and our own awakening and what is happening as an evolutionary planetary cosmological event, which is basically no longer interested in the illusion that we are held in through linear time. So let's just kind of look at it for your thinking, not for your trying to take what I'm saying as real, just apply it to your own existence, to your own life. So before we were born into the calendar thinking it was real, there were other calendars, Mayan calendars. In fact, this calendar is very young. So there were other ways that time occurred. So we can't believe that the calendar time is real because it just influences how we feel morally, ethically, and functionally of worth, because we're filling our calendar and we're doing what we think we should do to be of worth. And that isn't where worth comes from at all. Our capacity to be is where our worth exists. And so the question is what lines up with our being. Our being is relational. The present world we're in is functional, so it's objective. It's not about being in a relationship. It's about minding a list of suppositions that proves that we belong here, or we're worth or value. But all that's melting, and it's getting harder and harder for human beings to hold on to it. So let's imagine that we're actually beings, that we're actually quantum beings having a physiological experience. And we came in, I think, for a very specific experience of enjoying sensation, imagination, creation. And instead we found that we were locked in a cycle, a repeating cycle, karmic cycle that we had no interest in, and yet here we were. So imagine that what could very well be happening, which is what I did years ago in Timeless Time with a group of people. But see, I don't live in linear calendars. I live in what's next. I bring it forward, I give it a place. And then when it starts to emerge again as its next recursion, its next spiral or movement of the spiral, I then bring it up again. It's not a matter of trying to get a thing into a human mind. It's a matter of moving with creation on behalf of all life, and then responding to it and creating in congruent, coherent, and cohesive relationships with creation first, and then who is there to create with you with creation next. So it's relational from our direct link with creation, and it's relational in who's gathering on behalf of what, and on behalf of creation. And then I think the other one, it's just the way I think, and I'm not sure it's something that is necessarily forwards anything for everyday human, for most human beings. But for me, it's the craving exercises. You first crave, you give it a place, and the craving exercises by writing the creation exercise. But when I did Timeless Time, I just gave it a place. I called a bunch of people. I said, you want to do this? They did it. So I brought it in from Timeless Time, from non-linear time, and I gave it a place in time, linear time. So it could seed, so it could begin to create, so it could begin to pulse. Now, here we are. 3 days ago, I thought I really need to put Timeless Time in a booklet, in a conversation, and maybe even open it up for people to participate in. I don't know. I do work by request, and if a group of people say, oh my goodness, this is fascinating, let's get together and look at this, that's much more the paradigm of paradise than, oh my God, I need this to survive. So we shall see. We shall see if people gather on behalf of, they heard this wacko woman, 77-year-old woman had this thing on Facebook where she was talking about, she had created a time event called Timeless Time, and it began to pulse and seed. And now here, this week, it's now created something that if we want to, we can gather again together to sustain and maintain what got germinated. That's really nonlinear time, really nonlinear time. It's just like planting a garden. When it begins to root, then you take care of it, and then you use what you end up having, the product, not product like an objective, not a survival product, but a creation-based product. So let's just take for a minute that interests you, the structure of what I'm talking about. And so right now what's happening, evidentially in the Guardians at the Gates is that a third of us were missing on Sunday because we were caught between calendar time and not realizing that we're now moving into created time. So for me, and if you deal with me, I only deal in created time. So for me, Guardians at the Gate or the Magi are all places that we're blending with the quantum time. We're giving time to something so it can have a place here again. It can germinate, and then it can begin to sustain and maintain, and then embody into the consciousness of humanity that remembers paradise. I keep dropping out the thing I want to say, though. So what I did with the Guardians, and this isn't a template for you to, this isn't about you repeating what I say. I mean, I don't think in thingness. I think we're in relationship with something. In that relationship, we either move with it or we don't move with it. If we're really stuck and there's an outside world that is affecting us in the only place that we can be, we're in real big trouble, because there is no outside world. There's only how we have perceived the outside world. And then in perceiving it, it has become manifest. But let's say that there are some of you, and clearly the Guardians at the Gates and the Magi's are beginning to lose touch. Like I said, it's like, wow, Mary Poppins opened up her umbrella and began to float out in the sky and gained a relationship with timeless time, where her life was an expression of creation itself, the magic, the wonder, the juiciness of creation itself. So what I said to the Guardians who were not there, and also the ones that weren't there, what I need from you, because I'm magical, I have these magical ways, and they really are. Ask anybody that participates directly with me. I have magical ways. And one of them is time. It always has been. I have a profound intimacy with the magic of time, particularly created time. So what I asked them to do is, if they wanted the recording of the iGuardian call, that they need to give me a date that they were going to study it, and then text me or email me when they were done in that time territory, because I would then put it in my calendar that they were doing it. Now, don't you instantly start to think, oh, that's to make sure they keep their word, or that's to make sure they're doing what they said they were going to do? No, because there are these energies of so above, so below, these spiraling energies of timeless time now spiraling. And by you putting something into time, it comes into time. So the Magi's and the Guardians in the field of Tantra Mat, what we're at work about is to restore that so above, so below relationship, where the activity of the eternal can spiral down into, be anchored in the manifestation in the temporal. So, we have two groups of people now. We have one devolutionary, one evolutionary, and then we have those of us that our systems are trying to figure it out at the moment, are in between, systemically, not personality. This isn't like you'll go to heaven if you follow the rules, or go to hell if you don't. Bullshit. It's just a really bad rap. It has more to do with remembering we're timeless, eternal, and remembering that what we create is what we're choosing to bring into time. So, and there's a flummox going on right now with a whole bunch of people that are trying to do it linearly in the calendar, because I got at this a long time ago. So what I put in the calendar, and there was this great course in, I think it was Landmark, I don't remember the name of it, but basically what you do is you put out in time what you want to have exist in time. And then if it doesn't fit with you being able to get it done, then you just move it. That is created time. That's what we're in. It's very exciting. So I have wanted forever to be able to see and to participate in human beings being able to move with timeless time, and then being able to register that they can use the linear calendar to put into the calendar what they crave to embody. And then they move the calendar around. They put it in time. That's what Julio did in whatever that name of that course was. And now what he was talking about is up. Oh, by the way, for those of you who don't know, that's Esme. She's the mother of Yolanda, who's right here. Yolanda. And Oshin, who's right there. I think he's there. Yeah, he's behind the apple tree. So we're the baby apple tree. So I decided that I'm sending this out to the guardians and the Magi's in the field of Tantra Mat, but I'm also putting it in safe and sacred, because if you can just relax into the possibility and watch this a few times, some of you are going to notice that you're becoming timeless. And then that will awaken in you this nature of being called your beingness, your field being beingness. Then we'll then start to use time as a place to anchor what you're interested in having exist. Okay, I think that's all I got for now. So we're married. Some of us are becoming Mary Poppins with umbrellas. And when we open them up, it looks like we're moving away from each other because there's not enough gravity to hold us in linear time anymore. And then we'll probably figure out if we really want to be in relationship with each other and really want to create with each other, how to work with the currents of the wind to move it, just like people that skydive, to move us back into relationship with each other. And one of the ways we do that is by putting things together in time, a place to create together in time. Namaste.